Welcome to the Chevron Championship at the club at Carlton Woods. We are joined alongside by head golf pro Jason Alexander. Jason, we have an incredible week in store for us here in the Woodlands, don't we?
Oh, Zach, talk about incredible. A major right here in our hometown, at our home club, the best female players in the world. Right here at the club at Carlton Woods, we're all excited.
And let's get right into some of those big storylines this week. The first one, whoa, Nelly. She is on a run like we haven't seen in some time. She's won 4 consecutive starts. If she were to win 5, she would join some rarefied air with Nancy Lopez and Annika Sorenstam. It's the only 2 women to have done that previously. What are you seeing in her form that's made her so successful?
Zach, being on the shelf for a little bit sometimes helps players. I think she kind of, evaluated her game, we'll say, and boy, has she come back strong. I think arguably the biggest story outside of Caitlin Clark in female professional sports is right here, Nelly Korda going for 5 in a row.
And you mentioned that she's really the LPGA's Scottie Scheffler.
Scheffler-esque is definitely a great way to put it. And I know we're all excited to see Nelly. Last year she finished the 72nd hole with an eagle. I was there on property. She kind of smiled to the crowd and said, "I'll be back." So she's the odds-on favorite, and we're all excited to watch her play.
And she is back this week. She talked in the media center on Tuesday about this recent run of success.
In 2021, I went on a run, and then in 2022 and 2023, golf really humbled me. So I think that they're sports. There's ups and downs. I mean, every athlete goes through the roller coaster, but that's what makes this sport so great. You mature, you grow so much, and you learn more about yourself. So you never take these weeks for granted. You always, try to appreciate and become very grateful for them. And it makes just all the hard work so worth it. But I think I've learned so much about myself even through the losses.
And while Nelly is one of, if not the favorite this week, our defending champion is none other than Lilia Vu. Lilia winning last year 4 times on the LPGA Tour, 2 of those major championships, the big ones. Having a breakout season, her first win since being on the tour in 2019. She gets her first major championship here last year at the Chevron and a sudden death win over Angel Yin. I know she's coming back from an injury, but having good memories at a course seems to be a powerful predictor of success in golf. What do you think?
I tell you, Lilia Vu, scintillating 68 to close the show last year, winning in a playoff, coming back off of an injury, like you mentioned. A little home cooking goes a long way for these professional athletes, specifically golfers. So I expect Lilia Vu. I don't think she'll win this week, but in defense of her title from last year, I think she's going to put on a performance that we'll all want to watch.
She talked in the media center on Tuesday about not getting too far ahead of herself as she gets into this week and hopes to play some great golf again.
I'm going to be honest, I'm not trying to put too much pressure on myself. I think I'm going to look at this tournament as a new opportunity to win, not put too much pressure of, trying to defend my title. I feel like that kind of comes up time and time again, but trying to enjoy myself out here. Played the front 9 yesterday, feel really calm out here, good memories, so I'm looking forward to this week.
And let's take a look back at that leaderboard from last year, a bunch leaderboard, 1 through T9, separated by just 3 shots. Lilia Vu again winning in that sudden death playoff over Angel Yin. Nelly Korda just 1 stroke away from being part of that playoff. And we talked a little bit about Angel Yin, who came in second last year. You had a little anecdote for us.
Class personified, Zach. Class personified. Great story about Angel Yin. She gets done last year on the tee box. I was starting. She wanted one of the little teddy bears I was throwing out to the crowd. And I said, "Well, you win today, I'm going to get you a teddy bear." She comes off after losing the playoff, just, obviously so upset. She comes over to me and says, "I'm coming back for that teddy bear next year." Angel's back. We're all pulling for her. The story's been written, Zach. The story's been written. I know we're all excited.
And making that loss even more heartbreaking for her, she was up 2 strokes with 3 holes to go. And then Lilia Vu ends up completing a 4-shot comeback to win the tournament. But I caught up with Angel a little bit earlier. Angel, you come into this tournament with a disappointing finish last year in the sense that you lose in a playoff, but you played brilliantly throughout that tournament last year. What are some of the lessons that you take from 2023 here into 2024?
I don't know if it's more lessons, but just more confidence that I'm bringing over into this year. Considering this is my second tournament this year after breaking my foot, I think that I'm going to have to really ride on my confidence and my belief in myself. And that's actually what Julie Inkster and I talked about last week. And so that's something I'm going to really channel this week.
And what's so incredible about this game of golf is that things seem to come back up. You end up beating Lilia Vu later last year to get your first LPGA win at Shanghai in a playoff. What was that moment like just after being on tour since 2017 and finally getting that first victory?
Just really happy to get it done. I really didn't have too much emotions going into it because, you kind of already prepped for it. And I was just really happy and satisfied with where I was and that the win wasn't going to be life-changing for me. It's great for my resume and for me and it's confidence to boost it up, but it wasn't really life-changing as much as it was a few years ago. And so I think that's how I've really grown over the years.
And finally, going into this week, what are some of the challenges that this golf course presents or some of the things that you're hoping to achieve in this tournament?
Course is tight. You want to hit it on the spots that you want to. You want to be on the fairway. You don't want to stray away too far into the rough and waist bunkers. So I think that is just going to be my goal, fairways and greens, and those are hard actually. So we'll see how it goes.
And Jason, a name many LPGA fans undoubtedly recognize, Lizette Salas, who received the final sponsors exemption this week. She's really been a face of the LPGA Tour for the last decade. A champion for women's golf. She's got 2 wins in her career, and she's coming off an injury, but she played well last month at the Fur Hills Chevron Championship. What can you say about her place in the game of golf?
Well-deserved sponsors exemption, number 1. She's played on 5 Solheim Cup teams, Zach. She's been the face, a huge ambassador for the LPGA Tour. Let's hope she plays the weekend here. I know a bunch of fans would love to watch her compete on Saturday, Sunday right here at the Club at Carlton Woods.
Well, she was kind enough to allow us to walk with her for a little bit and ask her a few questions about what it's like to be back at this Chevron Championship in its second year here at the Jack Nicklaus Signature Course. All right, Lizette, you come into this tournament, you get the final sponsors exemption.
I know.
What was that moment like when you found out?
A little bit hectic. It was a nice morning wake-up call to get the final spot, but super grateful for the opportunity to play in her first major after a long kind of injury recovery process. But super excited to be back in Houston and hopefully for a good week.
And speaking of that, I know you were out for a while with a lingering injury.
Yeah.
You had a nice performance, though, at the Fur Hills Chevron Championship in your hometown, Southern California.
Yeah.
Tell me how your game's feeling right now.
It feels okay.
Yeah.
After being away for so long, you kind of learn how to be grateful for the small things, and I found out I love golf more than I could have ever imagined, and I love the grind. I love the process, even though it is hard, and I learned a lot about myself. I learned how to get back up, and just so grateful for my team and just this whole process. Not to take things for granted, and just to come out here and play the golf that I know how.
And finally, you've been one of the faces of this tour for over a decade. You've been out here grinding.
Right.
This tournament, in its second year here at this course, how have you seen it change going from Southern California to here in the Houston area?
Yeah, just so thankful for Chevron for really stepping it up. And yeah, I was a little sad that we were moving from California to here, but this golf course is phenomenal. It's super challenging, and I think its definition is a major championship. And just the crowd, the anticipation has grown so much, and even like differences on the golf course, we could see that it's in major championship conditions. So we're just happy to be here.
Well, we wish you the best this week, and we look forward to watching you play. And so many high-profile names in this championship field here at the Chevron in 2024. Who are some of the other women that you expect to be in contention going into the weekend?
I think 2 that come to mind, Zach. Lydia Ko, Lexi Thompson, both missed the cut last year, did not play the weekend. two of the best players in the world, two of the biggest names on the LPGA Tour. I expect both of those ladies to come back with a vengeance this year. I think we're going to see them on the leaderboard come Sunday afternoon.
Certainly. And who might be a dark horse for fans to look out for?
Dark horse for me, the consummate pro, my dark horse, Lucy Lee, obviously the youngest girl to ever qualify for a U.S. Women's Open years ago. She's 22 now, she's not 14 anymore. But I like Lucy Lee. She's had a really kind of quiet come up this year. I expect her to be in contention, definitely a top 20 coming for Lucy.
And Lucy Lee certainly has a lot of game to back up that hype. We heard from a few of those contenders on what they expect this week at the Chevron. Lucy, how are you feeling coming into this week? I know that you've been trending, your play has been trending in the right direction recently.
Yeah, it's good. I've been had a good start to the year, so it gives me a lot of confidence. But my goal this year and every year is just to take every tournament, every shot at a time. So that's kind of just my mindset.
And tell me a little bit about some of the challenges that this course in particular presents.
Yeah, this course, especially having played it last year, it's actually quite a bit different. The front nine, they've moved some boxes, and the greens are really firm because they're new. So that's going to be a huge challenge this week is dealing with the firm greens.
I feel like I've been playing a lot more solid, and to be able to win the first tournament of the year was just a bit of a confidence booster, and to play well the week after was also great. I think when you come back from an off season, it's hard to know whether you're actually going to play well or not, and I think those first few events are a good gauge on what you need to work on throughout the season. And luckily I was able to get a couple good results and learn what are the aspects I need to work on and what are the things that's going well. So I feel like I'm progressing, and the more chances I give myself, I feel like one of those chances are gonna happen at the end of the Sunday. So I'm excited to be here.
And there will also be some local Texas flavor in the field this week. Who will the hometown fans be rooting for this weekend, Jason?
Hometown gal Stacy Lewis, of course, long-tenured LPGA star out here, and then Cheyenne Knight, T18, last year in 2023 here at the event. What a story it would be to capture her first major championship right here in the Woodlands where she grew up.
And our very own Matt Musel told me that Cheyenne Knight was actually named after a George Strait song, so she is Texas through and through. And we heard from Stacy a little earlier this week about what she expects from this championship field here at the Chevron.
The Woodlands is where I grew up. My parents still live in the same house that we lived in growing up. That's pretty close by. So it's really cool. I mean, it's something I never would have imagined as a kid. And, just to be able to bring this tournament here and see the Woodlands get on board, and for all the little girls growing up here to have this opportunity to come watch this tournament, that's what's the most special part to me.
And Jason, as I understand, a special event being held here earlier this week, one that's close to your heart.
Zach, I appreciate you asking. Yes, we have our Austin and Friends Foundation. Had a couple of kids out yesterday. My son Austin's got a rare genetic disorder. We built a foundation deep-seated here in the wonderful game of golf that we all love, and had a couple of the boys out yesterday to enjoy the Tuesday Pro-Am and a bunch more to come. But I appreciate you asking. We're just trying to do some special things here in the special needs community here in Houston.
Well, I'm sure they enjoyed seeing all the stars out here, as we look forward to that too, this incredible week here from the Chevron. We are going to sign off from the club at Carlton Woods alongside Jason Alexander, the head golf pro here. I'm Zack Tawatari. Enjoy a great week of golf.